like to discuss your future with you.
When I was like in high school watching Dakar, I was like, there's no way like we can ever get there. We know every morning when we're gearing up, like, this could be it. I don't know.
Today, we're going to teach you how to become a champion.
When you see your kids doing 106 miles an hour, sometimes it's just better for me personally to just wait till he comes in the pits.
The only way to teach something like this is to hypothesize from someone that has done just that.
We're doing what we love for a reason, and we know that the risks of injury or death are high. We're gonna live life to the fullest.
We want you to begin this month to develop your own individual style.
The comprehensible first step of becoming a champion. Don't give a f.
Ricky created that hairstyle.
Don't try. Just be.
Yeah, he wants to be a champion, I'm sure, but I honestly think that Ricky just likes to ride dirt bikes.
No, he's gnarly. He is full send all the time.
Second,
You have to love it.
the pain.
The first time I crashed and broke my neck.
C5 and 6.
Second time I crashed and broke my neck.
And the second one was C6 and C7.
The limelight, the criticism.
Dude, I was scared when I first went there. I'm sure they thought like, hey, who's this big American guy coming here for? What's he doing?
In 40, I think it's 42 years, no Americans ever won it.
Oh, and by the way, this is Casey. He's American and also won the Dakar the same year, but in a UTV.
So that's not as dangerous. Now let's get back to Ricky. The third and last step.
Choose your discipline.
All that being said, it led us to being a rally racer.
If you haven't got an idea of what we're talking about yet,
Here are some analogies that you can use for Dakar.
Dakar is like soccer. It's big in the whole world except the United States.
it's like the Super Bowl.
Maybe even like the Tour de France with a close romantic relationship to Formula One.
All of this over the common denominator of motorcycle racing.
I think the reason why off-road athletes dream of Dakar, it's almost unattainable.
600 entries. There's at least one person from every single country. It's the biggest event.
With Dakar being our antagonist,
It's done the best it can not to be finished. It's been pretty damn good at that for 42 years.
The likelihood of somebody who's never been to Dakar, never raced it, may be highly talented, saying, I'm going to win this thing, it's not going to happen.
the thing about our protagonist
Is he dreams about conquering the impossible.
We want you to succeed beyond your fondest hopes.
Now that you know what and why,
Let's talk about how. For that, we need to start where he got his talent in the first place.
I didn't know if I was ever gonna be a dirt bike racer. Riding was just something that I did every once in a while. I played sports, I played football, baseball.
T-ball, soccer 1 year.
I hated football, they put me in football. That's how stoked I was to play ball sports.
You needed exercise because it was getting like this.
I was turning a little soft. I raced BMX till I was about 13 years old.
You were 8 years old, second place Grand Nationals out of like 48 riders.
This is when the addiction for two wheels started. He won a lot, well, everything.
Look how fast I looked right there. Look at those glasses. Don't you hate when your parents pull out old photos? The most embarrassing part of the whole documentary. We moved to the high desert from Riverside. At the time I was young. I was like excited that we're moving. I realized like, I don't need to play sports. I don't need to ride my bicycle anymore. I can ride my dirt bike right from my garage. Still to this day, I go riding and training in Honda Valley, and it's wild because my dad took me there for my first time when I was 4 years old to learn how to ride. The land of success, in my opinion. Larry Rossler used to ride, Davis used to ride, Campbell used to ride, Childress I ride here. We got mountain bike trails out here. We got snake, coyotes, and some of the best single track right outside the garage door. We got it all.
They always used to follow me when we would just go play ride out here in Honda Valley, so I never got to see him, but he was didn't really ride fast out here play riding. But the very first time I signed him up to do the Parker 250, and he started, I think, 4th or 5th, and I saw the first 2 bikes go by, 3rd bike go by, and I just go, oh, damn, Ricky's getting his ass kicked today. He went by me, and I'm like, oh my God, slow down. Holy crap, slow down.
Once we moved up here, then one guy said, you know, why don't you just try this desert racing thing? And Ricky goes, well, all right, whatever, what do I have to do? Sign him up, he won that. He kept winning, and then he'd break, and then he'd win, and then he'd break.
Ricky would beat me when he could keep a bike together. He'd always be in front of me until he broke. Yeah. Usually he'd be in a sand wash, I'd wave as I go by.
We call that learning. Ever since then, it's been the best years of my life.
In those best years of his life, he got a job.
I didn't want to work. I wanted to ride dirt bikes and have fun.
Then quit his job, got some sponsors.
So he saved up my money, got a mountain bike.
He lost 80 pounds.
And it seemed like overnight.
Hold on, quickly, some fundamentals. The words GOAT, legend, icon. That is what this character is with his 11 Baja 1000 titles. So when he talks, listen. That's what Ricky started doing about now in this story.
He lost like 100 pounds of weight, got serious about racing.
And he said, I'm gonna do nationals. And that year he won his first national championship. I think that's where it all clicked in for him.
Didn't seem like he was a natural athlete.
I think he realized that he found something he really was good at, and he started training for it.
You can see through his hard work and determination, shaped himself up, became a champion.
So let's talk analogies again. What's a dream year for you when you were 23? A new car, finishing college, or getting a 401k? For a desert racer, it's these #1 plates.
In 2014, I was doing everything on such a small budget.
It was always an adventure. We'd pile in a van with literally no money.
Dude, like $200, and like we gotta sign up with that $200 and pay for gas and a hotel and food. So
In that fashion, he raced and won all 3 championships. Score, Best in the Desert, and National Hare and Hound.
So we're talking a huge amount of dedication, huge amount of sacrifice and pain.
And I started helping Ricky in the Baja races from the helicopter and saw the speed and potential he had, and just like, he really got it on. Like, that guy wanted it.
He wanted that proof of those plates, because when you get one, you now have a social status of a champion.
First person ever to get 3 #1 plates in the same year. And I thought that was good right there. That was plenty enough, Nobody who's ever done that. Nobody's ever done that.
But when you're holding all of them, well, I'll let you make up a word for that.
I got another sponsor in like 15 for $200 a month.
$1,200 went real far until you had to pay rent.
Yep, then we had to find more sponsors. Got another one for $500 a month. Yeah, I was doing good. And then
You have so many things changing, so many things coming at you at a high rate of speed. It could go bad in a blink of an eye.
Good? Ricky! Ricky's out. Ricky's out. Ricky's out hard. Ricky's right there. You guys have a phone? You guys have a phone? Yeah, he's on.
This is, what year was this, Ricky?
2015.
2015. Well, this is his first real big injury.
In a blink of an eye, he went from the reigning desert racing dominator.
He wanted to just go, let's go home. And they're like, no, you gotta go to the hospital. And when we went to the hospital, they're like, no, you've got a broken neck.
C5-6, collarbone, and hand all needed surgery after this one hit.
When you hit the deck pretty hard, the consequences are pretty high.
One time he ended up borrowing my WR, and he's going down the sand wash, and he hit a big metal generator housing out there. Just clipped it, ripped off the front rotor on my bike, and there's another rider next to him because all I saw was Ricky's head, his toes, his head, his toes, his head, his toes.
My theory is the faster you're going, if you crash, you're gonna like skip across the desert maybe. The first thing I did after the injury was, I think it included wall balls. This is how it looked when I was returning from an injury. But it's like, I couldn't look up, you know? So I'm like, my eyes are up, and I'm like, still, my neck mobility is not like it hurts to go there. And then like down, I can't look down that much. You just learn to live with it, you know? You learn to live with pain. Those are proper wall balls. Enjoy it, because it doesn't last forever. I got home, went to surgery.
And I remember sitting in the doctor's office with him, and Quinn Cody made that phone call to him, and he's all, yeah, Rally, what's that?
A contract and a signature later, some recovery time. This is when Ricky leveled up and went from a desert racer to a player of rally.
What does that sound like? Is this the leaders? Hey, this is Brabec, I think. Look, he's pinned it.
To you, this and this might look the same.
But desert racing has a marked course, easily navigable, practice and pre-run days. It's really as simple as the fastest man on that day, on that type of equipment, wins the race.
Now, after that call, he's a player in the rally raid.
It takes that high speed and adds complexity of rules, thousands of rules.
Means thousands of strategies and variables for a single outcome.
Really, it turns into a 2-week game of chess.
But every day, you're risking your life.
Now for Ricky to learn a game that Americans are so unfamiliar with.
Now that's where this story
actually gets interesting. Is that to a rally racer,
the only event that matters, the granddaddy.
The finale is Dakar.
They want you to go through the gnarliest of the gnarly, so they don't make it easy on you.
The rule book in Dakar is,
it's playing this big chess game of, how fast for how long.
If you think you know what's going to happen tomorrow in a rally, you've already lost. You've got to be dynamic.
Like the Baja 1000, but 6 of them in a row. That's right?
So about 6,000 miles, no marked course, no practice, no pre-running.
It's a navigation game.
Just riding into the unknown.
Moto guys do it by themselves. I mean, that is a whole different ballgame. They are gnarly.
Real quick, apologies on the satire earlier, Casey.
You're gnarly too. I mean, you won the Dakar in 2 years. Come on, Ricky, took you 5.
The most important rule is following the roadbook.
Consider the roadbook your guide for the day. When to turn left, when to turn right, and when to go slow.
They would have no problem with you driving until you're out of gas in the wrong direction.
It's really like a scroll with hieroglyphics on it.
To translate that, you only have 2 instruments.
We got our odometer.
It measures distance.
Our cap meter.
It's a compass that measures in 0 to 360 degrees.
I'm surprised you knew how to read a road book, to be honest.
Me too.
How do you know how to read that?
Yeah.
You don't even know how to do math or anything.
And it's a staged event.
Every day you race for a time against the clock.
And you need to ride during 15 days, trying to avoid any big mistake.
And each day being an average of 500 miles.
That's like you going off-road from Los Angeles to New York and back with nothing but printed out encrypted directions, but trying to be the fastest in the world at doing it.
It's like Ricky has said, it's like texting and driving at 100 miles an hour at the same time.
That's just the first page of the rule book. Just to sum it up for you.
All those pages can be condensed to one phrase.
Good luck.
But from this point on, the biggest factor in your success will be your own determination and your own dedication to constant practice toward improvement. Never stop practicing and never stop trying to learn, for when you do, you stop succeeding.
Every year I was like a little bit better.
It was leading up to the 2019 rally where I finally convinced him that, it was like, hey, I'm as fast as these guys, and navigation, I think I'm as good as these guys too.
Before they always kind of like, it's Ricky Brabec, he's a 5th and 6th place rally racer. His results didn't match really his effort. And I told Ricky, show them, let's prove it. Give them the results. Then they can't deny it. In 19, where he was the guy, he was ready. He was ready to win that race. But more than that, he surprised the whole team.
That rally was done.
Because all he had to do was basically finish that stage and he'd be the first American to win the Dakar Rally.
You're going, where did he come from? Where, why, how?
There was some guys that were gonna try to take it away from him, but he had such a lead that it was really impossible.
He was showing the world that I'm going to be the guy to beat, and nobody could deny it.
The hardest day for me in Dakar?
Being a champion.
There's another unspoken rule.
You have to pay your dues.
And then it was like, boo.
Ricky in 2019,
second to final day, we had a mechanical.
And my heart just dropped.
The way he held himself together after that.
It's almost like someone just punched me right in the chest and I couldn't breathe.
We had 1 day left. It was the shortest special of the rally.
He was right there.
And you can feel like you're almost holding that.
Made me really think about why I'm doing it when I'm that close, and it just bites me in the ass. No one ever said making history was easy, and when you're in school, in history class, it seems like history is really easy. It's just a way of living. Dakar is a different story, different animal, and it bites again.
And it was like, look, you need to come at this like a champion. Everybody's done as best job as they can. This is something that happens in racing. We need to just go home and let our emotions settle.
But I remember when he came back, and it's like, hey, let's just get back to work. Let's do it again next year.
You come back from that disappointment and you work harder.
But now he saw that he could do it, and that changes gears completely.
And you get hungrier.
You know, he took that anger and frustration and turned it into how hard he trained the next year. It was kind of like, there was no doubt.
Ricky, do you want to do this? He wanted to do it. So he had to rebuild his confidence in the team, and the bike, for me, everything. Refocus. Okay, let's go train. Let's get this done. We're gonna win it next year.
The best part about Ricky is that he can smile while he's working hard.
35 and 25, you do the math.
Ooh, ooh.
For a racer, strength, endurance, flexibility, diet,
skills, these are all things that you have to keep sharp for that 11-month off-season.
People think that our sport is only take the bike and go out, but
once again, for a rally, the hardest thing to prepare for is the navigation.
That's where this guy thrives.
Jimmy's like an artist. He has a deep love of doing things a little bit differently.
And so he's really good about how do we elevate this, so to analyze why you got lost here.
Making them stay up till 11 o'clock, taping a road book, and then the next morning handing them the one that they're really going to use. You know, that's how we make things harder.
We'll go to the lake bed, we'll do like 1 kilometer squares, like go 1K that way, 1K that way, 1K this way, 1K this way. And when you get back to this point, you should be at 4 kilometers. And then there's me that's like, why? Why are we doing like this?
He's starting to learn if he starts complaining about something, we're gonna make it worse.
He'll cover up like my odometer.
Because to get him a little flustered.
Looks like we got no cap heading on this trip around. Good old Jimmy Lewis trip.
And to see how you react when all of a sudden things aren't going right.
Always make it hard on us. Cover up the note to make me think like.
Remember we talked about screwing with them? This is one of those notes.
You gotta drink 3
I
beers.
made that. Kendall, if you showed up right here, you're at 65.01. Which way do you go? Quick.
Right.
Oh, you're going to Mexico. That's not right. Now all of a sudden we simulated kind of a race situation. In the rally, when everything's going right, you're going, what's wrong?
You ride all day, you're waking up at 5 in the morning, you're leaving right when the sun comes up.
It's a pleasure and an honor to work with someone that wants to work that hard.
The hard work is really the results, but all you really need is...
You need passion.
The one rule is discipline.
And you need heart, and you need to learn to be tough.
To ride within your limits, discipline to not get lost. In rally racing, that's really important.
Enough the backstory. Let's get to the reason why this film was even made. Cue the dramatic music.
Attention passengers. We've now reached our destination.
You work all year for this one event.
And the navigation was good, the bike was good, the physical was good, and it's like everything's good.
2020, we made it, baby.
I mean, we were going to a new country.
Dakar Rally is now in Saudi Arabia. Nobody's ever been there. No one knows anything about this country. No team knows more than this team. Dude, looked around and I was like, this looks like home, like rocky, hilly.
Saudi Arabia is very similar to Mojave Desert.
Ricky started the race really strong.
Pretty soon he established that he's took off where he left off in 2019.
The first stage comes around and I was like, you know, I'll just ride and see how I feel.
Ricky's really good on the rock section, rivers, and when it's open desert.
On the first stage of Dakar 2020, Ricky Brabec came in second.
I'm like, hell yeah, I got second, first day, we're looking good.
Yeah, hopefully we can finish strong every day and just have solid days.
Solid days, finishing strong. That's all you can hope for at the beginning of the Dakar.
So second day.
Brabec second into the stage, but the times are not good. It seems he's got lost.
And if we would have kept going like 100 yards more around one bend, we would be fine. Third day, I'm mad. I'm like, dude, F this. Like, we're going today. We're gonna crash or we're gonna make it. And I just held it wide open.
On the third stage, Brabec wins by nearly 6 minutes and leads the Dakar.
I'm not scared, I was nervous because day 4 I had to open. And that's like every rally racer's fear.
Wait, so you don't want to win a stage?
You almost strategize on what days you need to win and what days that you want to be following. And he just put himself in a really good position right away.
You don't want to be the fastest, but you also want to be the fastest. This is just page 2 of the rule book.
It's so hard with rally because there's whether it's track positioning or like setting yourself up for another day. I mean,
see, even he barely gets it. So let us just take you through the drama.
With all of these other competitors behind me following my track. Like, I got Toby behind me, I got Sam behind me, I got Quintanilla behind me, I got Andrew Short behind me, I got Matthias behind me, Van Bever, I got everyone behind me. So my mentor's like, hey, you're gonna lose time today. He's like keeping me calm because I'm like amped up, freaking out, you know? I opened the whole day. Only one person caught me, my teammate, who started right behind me, and finished really good, still around top 10. I knew right then and there, like, I could win this thing, like it's possible.
You know, but once we get halfway through it and he's leading the thing.
When Ricky took the lead, it was like, you know, the pressure is on and the eyes are on us.
I would get up early every morning, and that's when we can kind of see what happened.
We're like, holy shit, he won. He won that stage.
You know, I was just kind of on pins and needles the whole time, knowing that he could do it.
Well, yeah, it's just the stage. It's just the stage. That's all he's gonna do. That's all he's gonna do. Well, the next day.
I was just trying to keep him focused on what we needed to do for the next stage.
Right there, I was like, oh my God, he did it again. Again? He's ahead, like 10 minutes.
After the third stage, he was leading the race all days.
The race is getting tight. There's 3 Hondas in the top 5, which is really good. Hopefully, Honda can pull it together and land on the podium on the top spot. You know, that'd be history.
We cross more to another part of Arabia, and we enter like dunes and flat zones. So there, the race start to be like more fast.
You have to have a relationship with speed. You have to know when to go fast and when to go slow, but sometimes it's just out of your control.
The only day that worried me was day 10 and 11 because those were the 2 days that was sand dunes.
Then you get to 1, oh, it looks flat as ever. I don't even think it drops off.
They look flat and you can go wide open. The thing is, sometimes the valley like drops 100 feet and you can't see until it's too late.
Also this year, I lost a friend doing what he loved, no? Riding motorcycles.
Today, there was a fatality. Former Honda teammate and good friend of everybody here racing, Paulo Gonçalves.
My dad passed away racing a motorcycle.
It wasn't Mark, and I was looking down at the road. There, after.
It didn't stop me, and I'm doing what I think he wanted me to do. Hey, Ricky, you know, what would Paulo do if he was in your shoes? And he would want you to race.
It's a little hard to race after the tragedy, but the show has to go on and we must stay focused.
Ricky is controlling the race, so for Honda, it's really good moment.
It was right around here last year that he found himself humbled by the Dakar.
He paid his dues, and now he gets his second chance.
Stage 11, second place rider Pablo Quintanilla starts 18th. A great opportunity to close down Brabec, who is second into the stage.
When you see all these virgin dunes, just motorcycle lines, you know where you're going.
There's a nice fat track ahead of you that you could like motocross pace and close those gaps.
And I'm like riding my ass off because I have to.
Well, you're almost like a prey out there, and these hounds are coming for you.
I was pushing and pushing. I flew off of one dune, and I just remember jumping off of it and back hit, and I was like, oh, we're good. And once the front slammed down, my left hand blew off the handlebar, and I just went boom, bounced back like this, almost fell off the side of the bike, but like saved it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like.
You know, you get past the point to where he broke last year.
So now I'm gonna back down like 10% because we're like this close to history, so we're not doing that.
And then you have, oh my gosh, we still have 400 kilometers to go.
Last day, like everyone's congratulating me, like before they even like before the stage starts.
But anything can happen.
There's nothing that can put that type of pressure on you like the car.
The last day, Tania was starting first, and I was starting like 7th. So all I had to do the last day was just ride.
You start hearing things on the bike, and you start feeling things that aren't there, and I don't want to get lost the last day, and I don't want this thing taken away from me again.
At like kilometer 15, the teammate in front of me pulled over.
Until last kilometer, we were following him and trying to support him.
People would start to celebrate, and I'm like, hey, don't celebrate. We need to get to the finish.
And me and him rode together. We both had toe straps, like we could make it happen.
Americans have messed up every single time. Like, I was next in line to mess up. Ricky was in the same boat, doing the same thing as me.
I got to the finish line, and I was like, that's it, like, we're done? Did we just win the Dakar? Like, I was like kind of confused.
Someone that we love representing us and representing us so well as just a real, genuine, awesome human being.
It was just something that reward, I'll never feel that reward again in my life.
To feel what he felt and to see your kid and just his face just said so many things.
First American to win the Dakar, and first time for Honda in over 20 years.
Is number one in the world, And I remind him that, Ricky, in the world. He just, no, that's cool. No, Ricky, in the world. And he's just.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
After 30 minutes of hypothesizing,
what if we told you there were no steps to being a champion?
Simply put, being that
is the same as being absolutely obsessed with the process.
This isn't a path for everybody, but if you're willing to get beat, bleed, and sweat, then go ahead and take it.
Your Dakar champions 2020, Casey Curry and Ricky Brabec.
As a country of racers, we are fearless. We've won everything in the world except Dakar. And now we can check it off the list.
And we lived it, and we can't wait to do it again.
I think he's capable of doing it again.
I want to go back to like ensure that it's real because it was so smooth. I'm just like, how did we do that?
To say you're Dakar champion, you didn't get lucky one day. It takes all year.
And now you're just bummed. You're like, oh, if I would have done this, I could have been like that much better. I gotta wait 11 months to go back. Not my fault, my words are smoother than your cream cheese spread on your bagel, dude. All right, welcome to the office, guys. Here's where I do none of my work, but it looks like I do all my work here.
I just want to say that, Ricky, stop big timing me, man. Don't ghost me when I call. I don't know if the haircut has messed up your style or what of getting back to me, but
I told him to give me a help putting the air compressor in the trailer because it was heavy.
No, he goes, Dad, there's 55 pounds of air in there. Let it out.
That's my boy.
It's a proud moment right there.
And he thinks every time we go out in a road book, he thinks I'm cheating. Every single time. And I'm not. Well, not all the time.
Jimmy would have got lost.
Yeah, that's a mistake, right?
That's a mistake. But there's
Jimmy would have got lost.
And then we would have seen Jimmy on the Husenberg go cross country in the big boulders.
You do this to Ricky sometimes?
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
That's why I tried doing this. Now, I did it wrong.
If I would have said that, what he just said to me like 2 years ago,
yeah,
what would you have said?
Huh?
Does that make sense? Are we almost done? My butt hurts, my back hurts, and I'm hungry.